Savitri, Book 2, The Book of the Traveller of the Worlds, Canto 13, In the Self of Mind. A laborer in the dark, dazzled by half-light. What it knew was an image in a broken glass. What it saw was real, but its sight untrue. All the ideas in its vast repertory were like the mutterings of a transient cloud that spent itself in sound and left no trace. A frail house hanging in uncertain air, the thin, ingenious web round which it moves, put out a while on the tree of the universe, and gathered up into itself again, was only a trap to catch life's insect food, winged thoughts that flutter fragile in brief light, but dead once captured in fixed forms of mind, aims puny, but looming large in man's small scale, flickers of imagination's brilliant gauze, and cobweb-wrapped beliefs alive no more. The magic hut of built-up certitudes, made out of glittering dust and bright moonshine, in which it shrines its image of the real, collapsed into the nescience whence it rose. Only a gleam was there of symbol facts that shroud the mystery lurking in their glow, and falsehoods based on hidden realities by which they live until they fall from time. Our mind is a house haunted by the slain past, ideas soon mummified, ghosts of old truths, God's spontaneities tied with formal strings and packed into drawers of reason's trim bureau. A grave of great lost opportunities, or an office for misuse of soul and life, and all the waste man makes of heaven's gifts, and all his squanderings of nature's store, a stage for the comedy of ignorance. The world seemed a long aeonic failure's scene. All sterile grew, no base was left secure. Assailed by the edge of the convicting beam, the builder Reason lost her confidence in the successful sleight and turn of thought that makes the soul the prisoner of a phrase. Its highest wisdom was a brilliant guess, its mighty structured science of the worlds a passing light on being's surfaces. There was nothing there but a schema drawn by sense, a substitute for eternal mysteries, a scroll figure of reality, a plan and elevation by the architect word, imposed upon the semblances of time. Existence self was shadowed by a doubt. Almost, it seemed, a lotus leaf afloat on a nude pool of cosmic nothingness. This great spectator and creator mind was only some half-seeing's delegate, a veil that hung between the soul and light, an idol, not the living body of God. Even the still spirit that looks upon its works was some pale front of the unknowable. A shadow seemed the wide and witness self, its liberation and immobile calm, a void recoil of being from time-made things, not the self-vision of eternity. Deep peace was there, but not the nameless force. Our sweet and mighty mother was not there, who gathers to her bosom her children's lives, her clasp that takes the world into her arms in the fathomless rapture of the infinite, the bliss that is creation's splendid grain, or the white passion of God ecstasy that laughs in the blaze of the boundless heart of love. A greater spirit than the self of mind must answer to the questioning of his soul, for here was no firm clue and no sure road. High-climbing pathways ceased in the unknown. An artist sight constructed the beyond, in contrary patterns and conflicting hues. A part experience fragmented the whole. He looked above, but all was blank and still, a sapphire firmament of abstract thought escaped into a formless vacancy. He looked below, but all was dark and mute. A noise was heard between of thought and prayer, a strife, a labor without end or pause. A vain and ignorant seeking raised its voice. A rumor and a movement and a call. A foaming mass, a cry innumerable, rolled ever upon the ocean surge of life, along the coasts of mortal ignorance. On its unstable and enormous breast, beings and forces, forms, ideas like waves, jostled for figure and supremacy, and rose and sank and rose again in time. And at the bottom of the sleepless stir, a nothingness, parent of the struggling worlds, a huge creator death, a mystic void, forever sustaining the irrational cry, forever excluding the supernal word, motionless, refusing question and response, reposed beneath the voices and the march, the dim in conscience, dumb in certitude. Two firmaments of darkness and of light opposed their limits to the Spirit's walk. It moved veiled in from self's infinity, in a world of beings and momentary events, where all must die to live, and live to die. Immortal by renewed mortality, it wandered in the spiral of its acts, or ran around the cycles of its thought, yet was no more than its original self, and knew no more than when it first began. To be was a prison, extinction the escape. End of Canto 13.